The recording could go missing. Welcome, District 112, to the first and possibly last town hall for my term, because I haven't organised one before now, and it's getting a bit late. It's February the 23rd, and we've got conference coming up in May. So, anyway, we have a rough, approximate agenda for today, which is covering off your marketing ideas, then a quick look at the district calendar to mark off important district events, such as, for example, your division conferences. There will be a guest speaker covering off how to win contests. Then we will have Club Growth Director Marlene Crone will talk about how to apply for marketing funds. I will then, if we have time, discuss and demo the use of the district voting platform. And if we have time at the end, how to boost your Facebook posts. I have had a request from a number of sources that is something they would like to do and don't know how to do. So I can show you how to do that. Graham, can you hear us? You're trying to say something.
I've turned the camera off before I put the camera there so nobody can see.
Welcome. Okay. Marketing ideas. What this is we have a budget for you to... Graham, shall I put you on mute? Yes. Well, not quite sure what's going on there. All right. Marketing. We've put the call out. We've said district can't pay for club marketing, but district can assist with district marketing and possibly going down to division level, or division can help with division and area level. So there is a pot of money available to assist clubs that don't have their own means to advertise joint events, preferably, or other events if they are in your area are the only ones that will attract new people, new eyeballs, new visitors to as many clubs as possible. So that exists. And there are some criteria, but we really haven't had much uptake on that offer. So this is an opportunity that if anybody is out there and going, what can I do? Or I have an idea, but how do I do it? We want to hear from you now. I know that, well, it's informal. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot. Thank you, Elizabeth, for putting your hand up. Joanna, did you want to also say something? But we'll go to Elizabeth first. Hi, Elizabeth.
I know Devonport's looking for about $200 for promotion, but they still need to think how to word it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to them next week.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, that's a Devonport 200. I will start taking notes. So you're aware of the process, Elizabeth, so you'll be able to guide them.
Yeah, it's a tricky guidance. That's why we need to have the wording right.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully when we come to later on in the program, when we talk about how to apply for funds, what the funds are for, might get a clearer idea, and we take it from there.
Actually, shall we jump straight to that, Marlene?
Yeah, sure.
It's very relevant, and until people actually have questions, we can demo what we wanted to show you. And welcome. Yep. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Marlene.
can I share? Have I got the ability to share screen on this one?
You will now.
James, I'm curious to know if I can use it for a club banner.
Marcus, club banner. Let me go and read the rules and come back to you.
Thank you. Is that part of what Marlene's going to talk about?
What club is that, Marcus?
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
It's in K1. I've temporarily forgotten.
Okay. I'm not saying no. I'm saying let me check.
I think it's Bay of Islands. They used to have a different name. And they renamed and they still got the old name on their banners.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Well, before I share screen, so I just want to just go over the purpose of the promotional funds that are available from TI through down to District 112. It's primarily to promote new clubs and also those clubs with fewer than 12 members. But to promote new clubs covers a lot of things, you know, but it also could be you're trying to advertise your own club to attract new members. So it's all about building membership and I guess new clubs. So the purpose of the funding is to increase brand awareness and to grow membership throughout the district. So to apply for funds, you need to complete an application form, and that's what I'm about to talk about now because I think it's quite relevant. Oh, what's happened here?
That's working.
Oh, what can you see?
We can see the district homepage.
Okay, all right. So it's been quite tricky for members, or at least that's the feedback I've been getting. So what I'll show you where the form is at, and then we'll go through the form because you know there are some funding guidelines which will all be on the form as well, and examples on what the fund can be used for. So when you land on our District 112 page, the best way to find the form is to go to the district resource library. And then if you scroll down, so these are the main headings for all the resources available. But if you go down to publicity is where you will find that form. So again, there's lots of links to all different things here. But this is the link to the district funding application form. And this is what it looks like. It's actually a Google Docs form. And I think Wendy started this 2 or 3 years ago. And so it actually asks you to fill in quite a few things. I don't know if I can you see that?
Yep.
All right, so I started it as a test earlier today to see where does the form take me when I populate the fields. So the thing is you add your email address, and at the end of the form when you submit it, it actually sends you a copy to this email address. And then it obviously sends the actual request, the completed application through to the members of the TRU, and I think it comes to me. So these are the purpose of the promotional fund is to empower people to discover the benefits of Toastmasters by supporting club growth and membership retention, and to raise the profile and brand awareness of Toastmasters, thereby encouraging more people to discover and join Toastmasters. And we understand that. In here, I put in a club name, and then it asks you to define whether you're applying for a club with more or less than 12 members. And then it asks you to click on where your club sits. So in this case, I've gone A04, which is where Pacific sits. And this is just a fictitious application. Your name, your phone number, your role, and then if you go next, it will take you into the page where, oh, what happened there? It's not moving. Okay, we'll go back to, this is a raw form. I don't know if this is going to work either. No, it's not. The thing about this form is that if you don't put in the detail, it won't let you through. Oh, here we go. Right, this is page 2. So on page 2, it will tell you how to be eligible to apply for funds. So having it says having the passion and commitment to run events, projects, or promotional activities. Having insufficient club funds, net of earmarked spending for the club to support the running of events, projects, or promotion activities on your own. So these are the reasons why you would need to apply for funding. And this is what it covers: cost of posters, brochures, etc., etc. They're all here. Sandwich boards, if you wanted that. A flag to attract the general public and guests to your meetings. Now, this might answer Marcus's question. However, funding from TI, it specifically says that it's not to support existing clubs that can fund their own, but this is an area where our district director can make a call, and it could very well legitimately fall under that category. Local newspaper advertising, magazine advertising. You can even ask for a data pack to facilitate workshops, and of course, Facebook advertising of events. What it doesn't cover are gifts or prizes, new member fees, so you can't use it on fees, or even a charter fee. You can't use it for club banners. This is where that rule came in. Or design, costs for posters, brochures, and flyers. And it says website hosting and or design costs. So I think that relates to the cost of designing something for your website. Purchase of items not permitted under Toastmasters International policy, and food and refreshments. So this is the marketing fund. It's not the budget that you normally get to service your conferences and so forth. So some of the formalities, it says each application will be considered on its own merits, and that's fair enough. So when you're completing your form, there will be an area where it asks you to state what is the purpose and how will you use this fund, and how will your club benefit from the use of that fund. So the formalities are all here. I'm not going to go through each one. It's quite standard if you're in a corporate company and so forth. All these formalities are relative, and it's above board, and it's fully understood. Brand awareness: all promotional material produced requires approval prior to the printing, submitting of any advertising, and must include the current Toastmasters branding. And that's fair enough. There must be some controls on the application for funds. And if we go to the next page, this is where you will start to enter in the details of the funding that you want. So Facebook event boosting. And then what I've done here is I've put in some fictitious detail to allow me to go through to the next page. So event description, advertise the club, Facebook boosting. There's 2 lots here, and if you want to have 2, so I've just put in some dates there. And promote demo meeting. And if I go then over the page, it gives you more areas to define what it could cover 2 projects that you want to run. So this is an area. So in here, I've said promote the club. The reason for choosing this project is to widen the reach. Time frame, I put something in there. And how will this plan help your club grow and support your club success plan? Well, I've just put in here, increase membership. So depending on what project you're asking for funds for, this is where you put in your reasons. And then it asks you for some approximate costs that you're applying for. So this is what I've done. I'm just showing you, just taking you through this very quickly to give you an idea of what to expect when you go in. It has an area where we can upload any quotes that you've received. Description of what promotions you want to run and the costs. And then you come to the bottom here and it asks you for a total. So that's what I'm saying. I'm applying for $345. There are two things that I want to use that for. It confirms the amount that you're asking for. And what contribution is the team providing to support the charter of the club or club information? And I've just said outside Toastmasters resources, that's resources within to help. So resources in the form of member help. It asks you, well, how much you've got in your bank. So incidentally, one of the guidelines is that if your club has got $1,200 or more, you may want to consider self-funding. In other words, if you've got all that money in your bank account, it is expected that you could afford your own promotion. And it asks you all these questions about how much funds you've got earmarked for your current commitments, and what additional resources does the charter team or club need to complete the project to run the event. And I've just put here appoint sponsors and mentors. And all these questions, and then you come to the end, and it's a matter of confirming or declaring that the information you've provided is correct. The club area division agree to use the funds only for the purposes listed. So it's just really just you confirming that what you're applying for is what you're going to carry out. And then there's a signature, will be accepted as a signature for this application. I said, yes, that will be done. And when you click submit, it goes through to the trio, as well as the person who's applying will get a copy in their inbox. So that is the application for funding. And that is where you find it in the in our district website under publicity.
That was amazingly good. Thank you, Marlene. Can you just put that link into the chat for us? And Murray, you have a question. I can see your lips moving.
You do realize that a district director is a lip reader? One of the things I noticed in there was funds had to be spent by the 31st of March. If that's not a rigid TI one, I would suggest the trio thinks about either expanding, pushing back the date, or putting something when you approve something, specifying a date when it has to be done by.
Yeah, thank you, Murray. What I also wanted to add here is this form is far too long, and to me, it's not desirable. So I'm now working on reissuing this form, and I want to take it away from being a Google Doc, because it's really, unless you have the knowledge, it's difficult to manage this form. And so the form will be simplified, and those dates will be adjusted as well. I don't see why. I think that's to meet certain financial reporting and so forth for the district. We don't need to put the year, but at least when the applications come in, we will just file them according to the year they are received in. But I think those days is to give the applicant an idea of when these funds need to be spent by, so that then they go into the financial accounting and reporting.
Right. The other point I was going to comment I was going to make was some clubs may want to use some of the money for social media boosting. And well, there's two things. One of them is I'm letting them know what support there is in constructing the ads or whatever. But the other one is what the costs involved with Facebook boosting are, and how tightly you can target it. If that sort of information, if one of the PR team could put some of that information together, say on the website somewhere, I think it would help the clubs who have got really no idea in that area. about
Yeah.
putting an application together.
Yeah, thanks, Murray. It's the reason why we've got that on the agenda later on, and James is going to talk us all through it, and also show you how to go and get a quote, because you'll need the quote to put into the application form.
Kia ora.
I'm going to ask a very, very controversial question. I think it'll be a controversial question. Why would we really want, I was going to make it stronger. Why would we want to fund them? Why would we want to give them money? Why do we need to sponsor clubs? Isn't it their responsibility to make sure that they get things done? I understand the wanting to help, but especially with struggling clubs, shouldn't they get together behind the movement of generating things for the club and making things happen, rather than us going, hey, look, here's $200, spending as you will, and then they spend it and the club folds anyway because nobody cares? Shouldn't they be the ones who go, right, we need to make money for our clubs in order to make it survive, in order to make it a good, strong club?
Taking responsibility. Yeah. James, do you want to?
Yeah, I can take that. That's not a controversial question, Giora. That's an entirely appropriate question, because there are guidelines that district is not meant to fund individual clubs. District is meant to use the funds that are allocated to us by TI to advertise the district in large format. And we have in the past gone to national newspapers or even TVNZ, and Elizabeth has done wonderful campaigns. This year, I took a different approach. I chose to divest the money to the division level, let the division directors have a budget, but that has resulted in basically nothing happening. So yes, you're right. Clubs, if they can, should advertise for themselves in their local area, in their local rag, and most of the, like the cafe news, is free. So whatever means possible available to you, yes, go ahead. But there is another level up where you can target either an area or a division, where you can say, hey, there are Toastmaster clubs plural in your area, and that is where I'm interested in putting some support into, so that the Toastmasters name gets outside of the existing membership to the wider New Zealand public. So it's called marketing outside Toastmasters. That's the line item that I'm focused on, is getting the name out, recognized out in whatever way, using as many talented people's brains, ideas as possible. So thanks for the question, Gilda. You're right. There is that limitation on, we shouldn't be funding individual clubs, and we can't. So if we've been saying that, if you've been hearing that, that's not the message I should be iterating. Yes, Tony.
I just felt that there may have been a little bit of a misunderstanding there as to what Giora was thinking the term of sponsorship actually meant. The way the question was posed to me indicated the thought process of sponsorship being by way of payment. So perhaps that could be clarified, please.
Okay, did I misinterpret your question, Giora? And if I did, can you reiterate it?
No, it was just it was a general question about, really, and I think Marlene said it right, putting the responsibility on clubs and on areas and making the members make things happen, rather than the district going, yeah, we'll save you, no problem.
Yeah, but I thought it was more around the term of sponsorship in this specific instance, as a group of people, or two people that are assigned to a club to help to build the club to charter strength, i.e. 20 members. So just to clarify that was all.
Do you know, I think in that instance, if a club coach felt that there was a real need for some funding to boost the presence of this club, to try and attract members, because ultimately that is what the funding is meant to be doing. That's what everyone should be thinking of, trying to advertise the club, get it out there, attract some members. Let's do some funding. Let's do some Facebook boosting or whatever it is. In those instances, that's where the funding needs to go. So yeah, if you feel there is a good need and there's a good promotion that could be done in that area, by all means, apply for funding. That's what the funding is for.
Thank you. And Elizabeth has her hand up.
I think one of the reasons that Toastmasters grant us this is because we're building skills. And this is one of the skills that we learn here, how to market clubs, how to market Toastmasters, and how to apply for funds to do things.
Cool. All right.
And I'll share an example that happened last year. And this is really just to give you an insight of what actually happens. So we spoke about this marketing fund early last year, early in our term. And I received a funding application from a club down in Taranaki Way. When we went back and asked some questions, it resulted that the club had a very large amount of money in the bank. And so the application didn't go through. They actually withdrew it because they they had a different concept of the money from the district to do their promotion. And it was them participating in a career expo with people coming out of university and going out to see clubs, and they wanted to be in that presence and attract them to Toastmasters. So that application didn't go ahead because they really had a lot of funds. They could have funded it, and the amount they were asking for was under 500. And they had something like $3,000 in the bank. Yeah.
All right.
Back to you, James.
I will jump to demonstrating how to Facebook boost. Now, I have done this. Don't do it frequently, so I will try to remember the steps I used. And Elizabeth, hopefully you can, if I stumble, just sing out if you can see obvious mistakes. So I will share my screen. This is my homepage. Now I happen to be in addition to having my own page, I happen to be an administrator of some clubs that I belong to. So as an administrator of my club, I can switch my profile from James to the club. So that's the first thing, that your club must have a page and you must be an administrator of that page. I'll keep an eye on the chat. Thank you, Marcus. Yes, Babylon 5. If I go so switch my profile to MCBC, then I am interacting as if I am MCBC Club. So on MCBC Club, if I go to my homepage, then I can create posts for my club rather than posts for my homepage, right? So I'm not James, I'm now MCBC Toastmasters Club. So given that I have published a post, I now have the option to boost the post. Now, how do I get this blue button boost? I get this blue button boost because I have set up my professional dashboard in the past. I have said, well, not professional, create ads. Or is it Ad Center? Does anyone help? Somehow or other, I told Facebook that this page is a commercial page, and I gave them my credit card number. Ooh. So now I can choose to boost this post at any time, and they will bill me directly. So I'll go through the process. I'm not going to click do it. I'll just show you how to do it. So let's say I wanted to boost this post. So you've got some kind of photo, you've got some kind of words, you're either advertising some kind of event, or look, see how great we are, we did this amazing thing recently, come join us, that kind of scenario. So when I click on the boost post, it's going to take me through a process of I don't want to improve the performance of my ad creative. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, What result would you like from this ad? Automatically let Facebook select the most relevant goal. Well, whatever. There is here, this audience. They are suggesting that if I spend $28 New Zealand, I can reach an estimated 708 to 2,000 people in a day if I run my campaign for 7 days to the 1st of March. So that's only $28 for a 1 week boost of that post. Elizabeth, have I got this right? So this is where I can slide it and I can determine how many people do I want to reach and how much do I want to spend. So this is your quote that we want to see. What is your post that you're boosting, and what is your target audience, and how much are you going to spend? Yes,
Right.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, for what they need to quote, they just need the amount. But when they do this ad in real time, they need to make sure that they target the very people they want to see, so that this ad doesn't go out to the whole of New Zealand, but only the people they need to.
All right. How do I do that? Can I, on this page?
Yes, sorry, I've got a call now.
Okay.
Yes.
Changing the audience, detailing my audience target.
Yes, so click on the little pen on the right-hand side.
That one? Audience details? Yes? Yeah. Okay.
And
All
then
right.
you don't want to go for the whole Auckland. You want to go as close to your club as you can.
Ah, Monaco, South Auckland. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So, right.
Okay, but
I
you
like
don't
it.
40, you want plus 25 kilometers. So there should be, yeah, there you make it smaller. They won't allow, it should be 25. They won't allow less.
That's
Okay.
good.
And then you can also target specific people. You might have a younger audience or an older audience. You want people.
Yeah.
So I see you already put in leadership development, and that's all good.
Fantastic. Yeah. Communication and leadership development are the interests.
So target your audience very well.
Very good. Okay. So I've done that. So save audience.
Yes.
That's excellent. All right. So this is the quote. This is how many I'm going to reach for my 7 days for that amount of dollars. So take a screenshot of that, and that is what you're asking for funds for. And you might say, oh, you know, take it up to 100 or whatever, and you might say, oh, the club will pay 50, and I'm asking district help for 50 because we're poor.
Yeah.
All right, that was a demo of how to. So I haven't clicked the publish button, so I haven't committed the funds. So don't commit the funds until you, well, if you're asking for district funds, don't commit the funds until we've approved your request. All right, cool. That was useful. Question, Derek.
Just a quick question. So you said you've got your credit card loaded, and that's the reason that boost thing came up. So I was playing with our website, and that boost thing came up. So does that mean somebody else's credit card is loaded currently?
I would assume so. I'm not an expert, but I believe that's how that works. Yes.
So if we have a play around, it should be easy enough to change.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Sweet.
It's
a good thing I didn't boost then.
Yeah, because then someone will be screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. I'll show my screen. It's just at the bottom of that page. I haven't left that page yet, so I just didn't scroll down. Oh, share. So here was the audience, the duration, the reach, the amount, the placement, and the visa, the payment method. So
Cool,
yes,
thanks.
that can be changed. Cool. And stop. Okay, cool. That we've covered off what some of the options that are available to you, the process for applying for it, and how to boost on Facebook. If there's no questions on that, I'd like to take a moment to change the voice and introduce another speaker. Giora has graciously accepted a challenge. I gave him the speech title of How to Win Contests, but he may choose to vary that any way he wants to. He has 5 to 7 minutes to preach to the choir from what I'm seeing, but over to you, Giora. Welcome.
Spotlight him, please.
Sure.
Thank you, James. Well, James asked me to share information about how to win competitions, and I have to admit, I am still competing right now and hoping to finish business that hasn't been finished. So the last thing that I really want to do is to share with you guys the secrets of how to become a successful speaker and win competitions, because I really don't want to boost my competition. I want to try and have an easy ride as possible this year while I compete again. So what I'm going to try and do over the next 6 minutes or so is doing the best that I can to scare you away from competing and from really thinking that it is something that you should do. I will cover 2 things. One is the journey, and the other one is a few discoveries that I had while journeying through this over the last year, trying to win the world championship. The first part about discovery, I think it's really, really important to distinguish or differentiate between pre-district and post-district. The pre-district part is the build-up. And the build-up, unlike what most people think, that the build-up to competing happens about 3 weeks before the competition. In the clubs, which means that if my competition in the club was yesterday, I would have written my speech 3 weeks ago and would have practiced it and prepared it 3 weeks before the competition. Preparation happens really starts happening at the end of August, when the last championship was won. That is when people who work hard to try and win the championship begin to work on their speech, to look for ideas, to start building the skeleton of what it would be, and really work through it. When the competition starts, club level, area level, division level, it's a lot of experimenting. When stand-up comedians talk about learning their stand-up comedy, they talk about, and it's going to sound horrible, about going to clubs when there's a lot of fame in those clubs, and just trying jokes to see what works and what doesn't work. So when they're in front of big crowds, it all works. So club, area, division, to a certain degree, it is what it is. It's having the idea, running the speech, and saying what works, what doesn't work, and adjusting the speech as you progress through each level, getting feedback from people to build it up. And so that journey within the district is all about really building up the speech. When getting to district, that's when things really become serious, or really serious. Not that before it wasn't, but that's when the competition is really becoming harder. And after district, most of you would know that anybody who goes past district needs to have or gets past regional really needs to have 2 speeches ready. One that they deliver at the semi-final, and another one to deliver at the finals should they make it. I was quite lucky this year not to make it to the final, so I already have 1 speech ready. But the journey post district, that's where things become hectic. It really becomes a job. It's going out almost every night and trialing things, going to clubs, going to 2 to 3 clubs every day. The amount of clubs that I visited between June and August it's just been phenomenal, the amount of visits that I had. And it's not just clubs in New Zealand. I think it was Mari that told me after I discovered that that I went past region, that I need to get the American voice. And so I had to go and visit or deliver my speeches and practice in America, in Australia, different crowds to really understand and then see what different cultures and different people say about it. So the journey is different pre-district and post-district. It really becomes a job, something that you do every day, all the time, once you get to that level. The second part is the discoveries. So there are three things that I think stood out for me when I looked back or as I was growing past district. The first one is that every speaker has their own style. And it's really, really important that we deliver our speech, or we deliver a speech that suits our style, and that we deliver it in our style, not trying to be somebody else. Because our style is unique to us. We all really have the same message, but our style is unique to us. And if we try to be somebody else or deliver a speech in somebody else's style, it will not work. And I think if you look at the last 3, 4, 5, even more than that, in world champions, you will see that they all had their own style. Some are really funny, some are serious, some are analytical, but it's their own style. So sticking to our style. Second part is the importance of the message. And this is something that I see in most clubs and areas where I see competitions. People have brilliant stories, but they haven't figured out the message that they want the audience to take. What is the message? What is the lesson that the audience, when they leave when we finish our presentation, that they go, right, this is the lesson, this is what I learned. And I hear incredible stories about people's struggles, about changes, about adversity, but there's no lesson there. There's no message. It's just the story of the adversity. And the audience goes, all right, this is horrible, but what's the message? What do I take home as an audience? So I think it's really, really important for anybody who wants to deliver a speech this way, that message comes through. And lesson number 3, or this discovery number 3, it's all about luck. Luck has possibly 70% in winning competitions. It's not the fastest, it's not the strongest, it's an opinion. And when it's an opinion, you need to deliver the right speech to the right judges at the right time, and that's luck. That's it.
Congratulations, well done, excellent. Lower my hand. Thank you, Kia ora. I appreciate that, and I'll remove spotlight so that as expected, you were able to give a succinct speech, and I loved your start. Yeah. I don't want you all to beat me. Fantastic.
I have a question, please, James. It's a human factor question. It just seems incredibly a lot of work that Giora did, and I know because I saw him everywhere as he was going through the ranks here. So you get all this feedback, and then you get feedback from overseas as well. How much of that do you then apply to every time you speak? It's mind-boggling the work that has to be done to get there. And I don't get me wrong, I understand you have to work if you want to be the best.
What is the question again, Marlene?
What do you actually do? Do you take all that feedback and then the next time you speak, you apply it? Or do you look at your stance, where your hands are, where you are on the stage? It's just a fascinating
I think it's a combination of various things. It's feedback that the speaker gets as they deliver the speech. I told a joke, nobody laughed, therefore it's not funny. I see that I did something serious and people laughed, therefore they missed the point. So things like this. There is, so I believe every speaker, I definitely have them. Every speaker has a small group of trusted advisor or mentors where they go to write, what do you think? So I have a group of people like this. And then there's the whole of Toastmasters, because every time we deliver a speech, everybody wants to give us their feedback and opinion. And so from that, from the whole of Toastmaster, it's collating all the feedback and then looking for a pattern. Everybody's saying that the ending is not good enough, therefore the ending is not good enough. Everybody's saying that I'm wasting too much time talking about my mother, therefore I'm doing that. But if one person, and I had it so many times in the same club, same speech, one person says, oh, this is great, this is funny. Another person said, your speech is not funny enough. One person will say, we'll love your body language. The next person will say, look, not enough body language. So just it's looking at patterns rather than individual feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, Skira.
Fantastic. Any other questions for Giorda before we move on? All right, so we have covered marketing ideas, how to apply for marketing funds, how to boost Facebook posts, how to win contests. District calendar, I'm looking at the audience here. Most of you are district officers. I'm not going to cover the district calendar. The division conferences. The division conferences are summary in case you're interested. First is K and L on the 2nd of March, Richard at K, Marlene at L. Remind me, please, Marlene, are they combined?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Second is M and N on the 23rd of March. Richard is M, Marlene is N. Remind me, Marlene, are they combined?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we might be combined, but you haven't got the right date. They're now the 7th of April.
Okay, thank you for
Okay.
that. Thank you for that.
And it's in the
7th of
calendar
April.
at that date.
Maybe
M
it's
and
the-
N, 7th of April. So it is in the calendar, correctly?
Yes, it's in the calendar.
Okay. I was working off old
Okay.
data. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
O
That's the problem.
on the 9th of March, and that's Richard.
Yeah.
P on the 16th of March, and that's James. Q on the 6th of April, and that's Marlene. And
I
R, yep,
believe that's Rotorua.
yep. And R on the 7th of April, that's Napier, and that's James.
You know, that means I can't get there. Because the date has now been changed for M&N.
Oh, true. Okay,
I
that makes
didn't know
sense.
about it.
Okay, well, now you do. Okay, so that's good that we've just clarified that and got that out there. All right, so that's all I wanted to say about district calendar and division conferences specifically. They're the next big thing. All right, the district voting platform. Let me share my screen. We are on time, yay. All right, and show chat, just in case any of you talk to me. Playing up, that might mean I'm about to zoom quite unexpectedly. Can you still see me? Yes, don't send.
Yeah.
I'm still here, good. I'm still here, even though
Yep,
it
I can
thinks
still
Zoom
see
is
you.
don't send. Okay, good. Check. So Zoom died. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Good. Now I can see you, and now I can see chat in case any of you are talking to me. Have you seen this? This is the district voting platform. Let me put it into the chat for everyone. And it alternates. It alternates. I set it up for either DEC, which are just the district officers, or district council meeting, which are the district officers plus the club presidents and club vice presidents education. So this one platform does both. You log in with your member ID. So that's the first hurdle. You've got to know what your own member ID is. When you log in and I've set up which deck or DCM, then the first thing is to claim your vote. So I've already done that because this is for the deck on the 12th of, we had on the 12th of Feb, and start voting. Now, there are no votes because I, the admin, have not opened any questions. So I have a question maintenance screen, and in that question maintenance, I have set up in advance all the motions. So motions that the apologies be accepted, that the agenda be adopted, that the minutes of the last meeting held be approved, that the inwards correspondence. So these are all boring, but necessary. And the way that our procedures are written, when I'm chairing a meeting and I put the motion and we have a discussion, if there's no disagreement, when I call, when I ask for agreement and I have no disagreement, we pass the motion and I don't need to open the voting. If there is a disagreement, then we have the disagreement aired, when we might have a rebuttal. So 2 minutes. Is it 1 or 2 minutes, Murray?
2.
2 minutes. What is your concern? 2 minutes. Someone can reply. The person who put the motion can reply, and then then I will open the question. Then the members would have 2 minutes to respond. So I would open. So if it was controversial, the early bird period for the TOPOL conference be extended to 29th of Feb. If that was controversial, then I could unlock this question, open it up. So when it becomes open, then the members can start voting and they will get that motion, and then they can put their vote in. They have 2 minutes to submit their vote. And then at the end of that, I will close the motion and we will get a majority. The results dashboard will tell me. So if I vote and then 2 minutes later I close the question, and then I go to the results dashboard. So motion 1, 2, we didn't do them. Motion 6, we did it. We had 1 vote of all of the people, and we had 14 votes did not submit. So, you know, that's how this platform works. It's quite straightforward, but yeah, it requires A, knowing the link, B, knowing your member ID, C, claiming your vote, and then during the process of the meeting, if I open the voting, then you go in and have the ability to cast your vote.
So there'll be written instructions sent out to every person attending the conference so that they know how to use it.
Okay.
We tried this a few years ago, I think, didn't we?
Neville. Yeah.
And people didn't know how to do it.
Okay. Recommend written instructions. So what I'll do is maybe send a link to this recording with a transcript of how to use it.
Yeah, I think Neville's talking about it was a different system, and
yeah,
if I remember right, it hadn't been set up as well as this one.
So FYI, this was for deck. I can change the configuration of this. I can say for the next DCM in May, I will change it to DCM. I will change the voting mode from deck to DCM, and I will upload the members from the latest DCM report from TI. So it'll automatically import all the members and allocate appropriately how many votes you have. So if you're a district officer and a club officer, you may have more than 1 vote, but no more than 3. And I have some questions, so I will stop sharing it. Well, actually, Marlene, over to you.
Yeah.
Do I need the screen or not?
Probably not. So
Okay.
just to reiterate, this is a system that is used in an in-person meeting. And it simply replaces the ballots, the little ballot forms that we used to collect and use and get collected up, and then it goes into a room and gets counted. So this electronic system replaces that. This was
It- it-
actually used at the district international conference, and it worked really well. And they had what?
They had a
over
similar one,
1,000
Marlene,
people.
but not this particular one. This one was written by Michael Fenton from District 90. I think he's 90. Anyway, Oz. And so far only Region 12 have it, and we are all loving it. But yes, International Convention had one very similar to it. It's not only for in-person. Obviously, if we have a hybrid, then also people from home who are officers will be able to vote as well. And that's the fantastic thing is it covers everybody, whether they're in person or not. Yes, Alan.
Just to point out, when you send out this letter, remember to tell people to bring their tablets, laptops, phones, whatever. Otherwise, they won't be able to vote.
Yeah.
And also their ID number, their personal ID number.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone remembers that. That's easy.
Yeah. This will only work on your device, so you have to have a device with you.
So the one that International Convention used, which is similar to this, it was a web page. It worked on my phone. So if you have a smartphone as well, so it'll go down to that level. I'm not sure about this one. I suspect it will resize to a smartphone, but that's an assumption on my behalf. Okay, thank you. There is an important note in the chat, and that is Joanna and Howard have checked, and M and N are on April the 6th. So potentially, Richard, you can make Napier on April the 7th.
Yes,
So,
I've got fast little wheels.
So the 6th is Saturday, and Sunday is the 7th. So if you are anywhere near Napier, Neville, I'll be there. Come in person. It'll be awesome. All right.
I'm there for Taupo.
Fair enough. That covers off my agenda items.
I wonder if there are any questions on that voting system.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go there. Questions on the voting system? No questions on the voting system. The funny thing was that last couple of meetings where I had the voting system ready and waiting in the background, ready to use, and nobody challenged any of the motions. Murray was very disappointed. I wasn't, but Murray was. But yeah, we got there. All right. So that covers off marketing ideas, how to apply for marketing funds, the district calendar, the division conferences, how to win contests, the district voting platform, and how to boost Facebook posts. That was what I had on my agenda. It is 7:58. This concludes the formal part. I will stop the recording. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you giving up your date night, your Friday night. By the way, did you know that next Wednesday night they are showing Dune Part 1, and at midnight they're showing Dune Part 2. Just if you're a geek like me, that's exciting. Yeah, 28th, 29th.
Yeah, but where are they showing this?
Well, events at Manukau. I don't know anyone else, but I assume it's going to be in other cinemas as well. That has nothing to do with anything. That's just where my brain goes. I conclude this meeting. Thank you and you can stay or go as you deem